Hose work on the Escort again. Having some idling issues. Rev it up over 3 grand and then it stalls. So I'm going to go through, clean a bunch of sensors and see if I can't work out what's wrong with it. Now that the throttle body's cleaned, I've checked this hose. I don't think it's that hose that's restricting it. It's got no air leaks. I've already cleaned the idle air control valve. I've tested to make sure it's working. I've unplugged the MAF and the idle does change and it doesn't want to run with the MAF unplugged, so I don't think it's that. Here it was still stalling. So I'm going to clean the plugs and have a quick look at the plugs and see if they're wet. I've temporarily ran all the air, all the crank casing just straight back into it after the MAF, because people were saying, you know, that's metered air that is circulating into the atmosphere, so it could have been that, but it's definitely not that. Alright, that looks to be a pretty good. Come on, focus. Looks to be pretty good. Alright, the next thing is going to be this MAF sensor. I'm going to have to pull it out. You can see those two little wires right down in there, in that little tiny hole. Now, I think the way they work is the air runs past those two hot wires and cools it down, and that's how it knows how much air it's flowing through. I don't have a clue, I assume that's how it works. So I'm thinking if I just pull them out, undo these two screws, pop the MAF sensor out, and give it a clean with proper MAF sensor cleaner. You can't use brake clean or throttle body. Alright, that's the two wires right there. They look good to me, but I'm going to clean them anyways because everyone tells you the MAF sensors needs cleaning, so one thing that I've noticed putting it back together is, see, it's got a little O-ring on it. When I put it back into the housing, it doesn't feel like the O-ring is really sealing. It's probably not the issue, but I'm just going to swap it out for another O-ring anyways. Got some nice meaty O-rings here, so I'll just pop this one off. Put a nice big new one on it. Again, I don't think that's the issue, but Could be. You never know. See, that one's definitely going to be sealing. So it's almost at operating temperature, not quite there yet, but still doing it. After all that cleaning of sensors, the issue ended up being I didn't have enough distance between the MAF sensor and the turbo, so it was creating some sort of a turbulence, and apparently that's a common issue. I'll start it up, let it get to temperature, and we'll see what it does. Right, now it's at operating temperature. Gauge. Give it a rev. Really good.